chart on Honeysuckle Rose that I did for the WDR band. They've got 5 trumpets and 4 trombones. I separated out 2 of the trumpet players to play in plungers. They can play this idea mostly in thirds, occasionally fourth, but mostly in thirds, in plungers. And the groove is going to start at letter A. So the intro is with these 2 guys. See, it's thirds, mostly in thirds and fourths. Okay, and then when the tune comes in, it's in 3/4, which is odd because Fat Swallow's tune, Honeysuckle Rose, is generally done in 4/4. But I wanted to get like a nice 3/4 groove. It's kind of funky, and I got an organ. I love that organ trio kind of sound, and Hammond B3, and so it's all combined in this. The trombones are going to set the groove, so they do this. I'm going to start with C minor 7, so I'm going to have bass trombone is going to come in first, independent of the other 3, and then the other 3 guys are going to play the 5th of the C minor chord, the 3rd, and the 9th. It's going to have a little bit of a bite. We like that. When we go to the F7, the bass trombone plays the root on the bottom, and then the other 3 trombones play the 7th, the 3rd, and the flat 5. And then we're going to vamp on that. And then we'll run through the changes and keep similar kind of spacings until we get to the 8th bar, where I want to walk up the F7 chord. That would be in 4/4, but now we're in 3/4. I'm going to go. So I put a little syncopation in there, and I want to keep that. So that's my bass trombone and my second trombone. The 3rd trombone is going to be on the 7th. And the 1st trombone is just going to hold out the D on top of all that. So that way I get everybody involved.
Every honeybee fails with jealousy when they see you out with me. I don't blame them, goodness.
In this next section, I'm going to have the trumpets. I've got 3 trumpets. Remember, there are 2 guys that are out there playing their plunger thing. So I've got 3 guys left, and I've got 4 trombones. And I'm going to voice a B flat 9 chord in the trombones, and then add the sharp 11th, the 13th, and the root on top. So that we go. That's going to resolve to an E diminished. So I can get a lot of tension. I've got 7 brass. So I'm pretty much keeping the trumpets off of the trombone notes as much as possible.
I don't blame them, goodness no.
The next thing that happens is the trumpets and plungers are going to come back in thirds again and play a version of what they played in the intro.
Honeysuckle Rose. When
we get to the bridge, I've got to change things up. So I'm just going to leave all the horns out for 7 bars, giving the organ a chance to comp. This clears our palette, and so when the brass come in again, it feels fresh. This time, I only want 5-part harmony, so I'm just going to use 2 trumpets and 3 trombones. I'm going to leave out the bass trombone, and I'm going to leave out 2 of the trumpet players. So, voicing like. So bass plays on the E flat. Just chromatically descending parallel 13th chords with sharp 11ths. That kind of voicing idea goes on until I'm going to get to a break. And when I get to the break, I want something spectacular to happen to point out this break. So I'll have the lead trumpet play chromatically up to the high C concert, and the bass trombones down on the F, and then the other trombones, 3rd, 7th, 9th, 13th, 9th. So the trumpets, they're in 4ths, and the trombones are playing 9th chord. And then I have this break, and the singer, she's got 4 bars of break. Saxophones are going to come in, but we're not going to worry about them because we're talking about the brass.
To touch my cup, you're my sugar. It's so sweet when you stir it up.
The next section, I'm just going to repeat what I had back at letter A. And then when she finishes up on the tune, I'm going to bring back the 2 trumpets and the plungers in thirds. I want to bring that idea back, and that'll take care of the turnaround, and it'll get us to the next chorus, which I'm going to have a half a chorus of organ solo, and then the voice will come in on the bridge after that. So the first time around for the organ player, the first time through the A section, it'll just be him in the rhythm section. The second time, I want the horn players to play a repeated rhythmic figure that I'm just going to voice out with a tutti voicing. A 4-note voicing. So I'm going to do that in the trumpets, and then double that an octave lower in the trombones and in the saxes. The repetitive nature of it it's really functioning like a part of the rhythm section, and helps to light a fire underneath the organ player. In the next section, the vocal comes back. I'll have the trombones play a unison figure, and then I'll play another version of that in the trombones. It's just the 3 tenor trombones. I leave the bass trombone out of it. The trumpets and the saxophones are going to answer the unison trombones. And then we're going to get to the break, and the vocal sings the break by herself. Now we're on the last A section of the chart. I'm just going to repeat what the brass had earlier on in the chart. When you get to the recapitulation, you shouldn't be introducing new material. It's too late. We want to wrap things up. So very often I'll just repeat ideas that I had before, or maybe develop them I might reorchestrate them in a slightly different way, but in this case I didn't. But I really need my 2 trumpets and plungers to come back to bring that idea back to tie up the package. And then I'm going to end with a unison figure for all the horns. And then finally, at the very end, I need a short chord at the end, a button. And so for that, I want a lot of tension in it. So I'm going to voice the trombones. It's a B flat 7. So I got the trombones playing the 3rd, the 13th, the flat 7, and the sharp 9. That's pretty high for the trombones, so it's going to be real bright, which I like. I want that brightness on the last chord. And that's called a Z cell. We've got a 4th and then another 4th, a half step away from or tritone away. And then I'm going to use the same idea in the trumpets, only they're going to start on the 5th, then the root, the flat 9, and the sharp 11th. And then I've got this extra 5th trumpet, so I'm going to double him an octave below the lead trumpet. And so we get this. And And the saxophones are just going to be doubled with the notes in the trumpets and the trombones.
Every honeybee fails with jealousy when they see you all with me. I don't blame them, goodness knows. Honeysuckle rose. When you're passing by, flowers droop inside. And I know the reason why. You're much sweeter, goodness knows. You're my honeysuckle rose. Don't buy sugar. You just have to touch my cup. You're my sugar. It's so sweet when you stir it up. When I'm taking sips from your tasty lips, seems the honey fairly drips. Your confection, goodness knows. You're my honeysuckle rose. Don't buy sugar. You just have to touch my cup. You're my sugar. It's so sweet when you stir it up. When I'm taking sips from your tasty lips, seems the honey fairly drips. Your confection, goodness knows. You're my honeysuckle rose.
Thanks for watching this episode of Writing for Big Man. If you like this lesson, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And check out the other lessons on my channel. If you want to know more, there's tons of information in my books, Creative Jazz Composing and Arranging, Volume 1 and 2, which you can find on my website in the description below. The books have plenty of examples and techniques, and you can download the scores to follow along. Thanks for watching, and happy arranging.